Hi, Priya.
Hi, Chandrani.
So, Priya, I was just thinking the other day when we work with global teams, culture often comes in the way of getting work done. For example, like we now have many Western offices that have their capability centers in the Eastern side. And there are always gaps that need to be addressed in whether it's in terms of communication, execution, or results. How do you think that, team members or leaders should address this?
Great question, Chandrani. And I think it's one of the most pertinent issues that we see, especially when we work with a number of, especially in this part of the world, we have a lot of global capability centers, right? The
Right,
GCCs.
right,
And there's always this aspiration to say, hey, how do we work together and achieve more? There's people
right.
are achieving results, and that's why it's a great industry, and organizations are achieving by having these kinds of establishments for them to grow.
Yes.
But still, there are gaps to be fixed. And one of the key things that I see in these kind of global teams is the leadership across both sides. Let's take an example of, say, an American, organization having their teams working out of, say, any of the Asian countries. Now, if you are both the leaders need to learn to play constructive politics, and I think that's something that goes missing. There is leaders and they have sometimes their agenda which is set, and here we have leaders on this side of the world also having a set agenda, the team just ready to, soar and execute.
Right.
But learning to play constructive politics, and when I say constructive politics, it means how can two of them come together and achieve more? And that's really what we say as collaboration, because people often confuse collaboration to and constructive politics. So
Right, right.
constructive politics is about, so even before they start synergizing and starting to get results, the first thing is how should the leadership or the leaders across both these teams learn to set the agenda to say, hey, I have this as my agenda and you have this as your agenda, and what is it that we can achieve together? And coming up with a set of powerful, vision oriented, and aspirational norms, behaviors, and guidelines that often goes missing in the busyness to jump and execute. The
Right.
second aspect that goes missing in this, that I often see, is I like to use this word. And recently, I was a witness to one of a very interesting dance presentation. And from that, I learned a lot about executive presence.
Mm.
And that's when I say this word, which is to leaders should be supremely confident. I see confidence in leaders, but that's supremely confident to say, yes, we can get it done with them and get this larger, constructive politics or larger outcome achieved. That's something that goes missing. There's some elements that go weak.
Right,
So
right.
developing the supreme confidence comes when there is mind, body, heart, and soul integration in leaders. Oftentimes that's the weakest link. We have
Yeah.
leaders, but they may not look at it from a body perspective, or they may not look at it from the the heart perspective. They may just
Right,
go from the mind, or
right,
sometimes the
right.
soul of the leadership is missing. So
Yeah.
getting these two dimensions right in a very simple way can solve. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we can talk about, the culture and integration and all of that. But learning to play constructive politics and having supremely confident leaders on both sides makes the game more at an even playing ground, rather than the inequality, right? There is a higher organization and then there is a lower organization, but we should set this as a level, even and level playing field
Right,
for
right,
people to achieve more together. And that's something I think is what I comes to mind when you ask me the question.
right, right. Very well said, Priya. Very well said.